What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I'm going to make people mad. I know it from the beginning, so I want to make it very clear as I can. You know, I ramble, I talk a lot, I talk very fast, but I really do want to focus on the topic at hand here and make it very clear where I stand, because whenever I have these kind of topics, I've talked about Horizon critically like this in the past, and boy, oh boy, did people not agree with me, and that's totally cool. The point of this is not you have to trust me, you have to agree with me. I'm going to present my side, and I definitely want to hear from you guys in the comments below. And also, downvotes are also engagement, so downvotes do help the video. So if that happens, it still is a way for the channel to grow and the video to grow. But no, honestly, if you guys are new here, make sure, and if you like me doing more of these controversial things, make sure you guys are subscribed, make sure you guys have the bell icon turned on, and leave a like. I mean, obviously, you could leave a dislike, maybe on an alternate account, but a like definitely goes a long way. I greatly appreciate it. All right, I say controversial, I say I'm gonna make you guys mad, only because I do have maybe a take that some people would not expect from me. So the question is this game being held back by PS4? Now, people have asked me this, and that's because I feel like I made a video that was pretty big when it was first announced back, last June, that I don't like the fact that it's coming on PS4. I do think it's going to hold the game back, yada, yada, yada. And a lot of people did not agree with that. And again, that's cool. Now, here's where I stand. Very important. Do not ignore this. Don't skip this and say I said certain things and forget the fact that I said this. And I guarantee you people will do that in the comments. But I loved what we saw for Forbidden West, okay? I made a video specifically talking about how, gushing about that state of play. So I'm going to link that at the end of this video. You guys can watch that. I was very positive, and I still am. So the overall message I want to convey to you guys is I loved, I still do, what we saw at that state of play, okay? At the same time, could it be better? In a way, the title maybe is a little misleading because it's kind of like a let's upset people on purpose thing. But in reality, it's could Horizon be better than it is? And that's kind of what I'm talking about. And that's honestly just a different way of looking at, does the PS4 hold it back? Because what I'm basically saying is the PS4 is stopping, in my opinion, and I don't know if this is true, but the PS4, in my opinion, is stopping this game from taking serious big next steps. So again, let me make it clear. The game looked beautiful. I love all the additions the game did. Now, and some of the things I even said too, and people kind of agreed with me, is, you don't always need to make ginormous steps from the first game to the second game. Sometimes those small, and I said this in the video, just that parachute, that blue shield, that paraglider thing, just adding that. It's a small thing, but it does so much. And it's like, oh, that's an obvious thing. Like, oh my God, that makes so sense. That makes so much sense. That's so perfect. Like, that could have been great in the first game, but obviously it wasn't, because that's a foundation, and now you build upon it. So I'm not saying I need this game to have 5,000 additional things that the first game didn't have in order to make this game worth it. I think everything they showed was nearly perfect in terms of, you had a foundation and you're building upon it. However, like I said in that video, there was a sense throughout the entire state of play, and people did say this. I'm not the only one. It's more Horizon. Now, is that a bad thing? No, I don't honestly think that is a bad thing, but it could be a bad thing. And the idea of, as she's going around and as she's doing her more parkour stuff, that seems very unchanged from the first game. The visuals, they do look improved, but do they look a massive step improved? No, they don't. I honestly will say, the vistas, and you look, and I'm a sucker for water. That water was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life, but any water would make me feel that way. So it's just to be fair to it. But yes, a lot of those draw distances were incredible, but were they that far of a jump from Horizon from 2017? No. I really don't think. I truly will tell you, I don't think they were. So while I loved how the game looked, one thing I did see on Twitter quite often was, best looking game of all time. This looks, I actually will say I don't agree with that. I do not agree with that statement. And I will say, I do think it being on PS4 as well does limit it. Now, again, let me cover my back. I know that there's a 4K version. I know that this was captured on PS5. So those saying well, Alex, that was literally on PS5. So how could you say, well, because again, it needs, here's how I look at it. And this could be wrong, and you can tell me in the comments, and that's completely okay. Here's how I look at it. The game needs to run on PS4. So there's only so much you can do before it doesn't run on PS4. Now, again, I'm not saying the game looks bad. I'm not saying the game looks disgusting. I'm not, we had Uncharted 4, my favorite game of all time. Still is, right now in 2021, with the PS5 out, with the game's never looking better. Uncharted 4 is my favorite game. And visuals are actually a big part of that, because Uncharted 4 still stands up. It still looks absolutely incredible. But is it the greatest looking game of all time, right now? Not necessarily, but I'd still say it's in the top echelon of games, okay? But Uncharted 4 is my favorite game. We had God of War on the PS4. I mean, we've had, and go back to the PS3 era or anything. We've had amazing games that stand the test of time on old consoles, quote unquote old consoles, right? So I'm not saying it being on PS4 is god awful and the game's going to crash on you every 5 minutes. No, but I do think there's only, and again, it's not like we haven't had good games on the PS4. But I'm saying is, I think when you have it on PS4, it needs to run. It needs to work. Oh, I forgot to say The Last was Part 2. Last was Part 2 looks pretty darn nice, right? But it needs to work on the PS4. And I just think, compared to what we've seen with Returnal, compared to what we've seen with Ratchet and Clank. Now, Returnal, we've actually, gotten our hands on. Demon Souls, obviously, has been out, right? Even God of War. See, it's really, in my opinion, going to be those other games. So, if Horizon is on both, and then God of War is only on PS5, or Spider-Man 2 is only on PS5, I would, I'm not a betting man, but I would guarantee you that those games are a step up from Horizon. And it's not because necessarily that they're better companies or that Guerrilla is beneath them, or even that they're different games. I mean, I do understand different, if it's a more linear, kind of game, it may end up being looking better, let's say visually or performance wise, because we're not just talking about just visuals, than Horizon, because Horizon's open world, right? But I just feel like there's going to be advantages that Ratchet and Clank even if Ratchet and Clank, I think there's going to be advantages that you notice that Demon Souls, Returnal, Ratchet and Clank, they all have over Horizon. Spider-Man 2, God of War 2, God of War Ragnarok, whatever you want to call it. I do think there's going to be better things there. So, that's the tough thing. I really, I'll be I don't have anxiety or stuff like that, but I am worried that people are really going to hate this video or hate on this video, and you guys are going to leave it dislikes, but I'm trying to make it just as clear as I can. I love this game. Horizon is one of my favorite games on the PS4. It's one of my favorite games ever. I don't think it's in the top 10, but it's definitely one of a game I always think about, okay? This game is one of my most anticipated games ever, or of all time. There's Hogwarts Legacy. Over the next 2 years, let's say, this is in the top 5 of games that I'm most anticipating. I cannot wait. So don't look at it as I'm hating on it, and don't even look at it as I'm hating on PS4. I'm just wondering, because at the end of the day, look, several of things I said may not even be true or would not even come true. They're all opinionated, and I've made that clear. Secondly, it's possible that it's maybe even a Cyberpunk situation where it's not that it gets held back by PS4. It doesn't run on, you know what I mean? It doesn't actually even perform at all on PS4. That could happen. The game could come out. Now, it's Sony. Would they let something like that happen? No, I think they would delay the game as long as humanly possible to ensure that doesn't happen, because I'd imagine, I don't know if it'd be 50-50, because Miles Morales is proving that more people want it on PS5. So I don't even know if it would sell better on, you know what I mean? By the time it comes out, 10, 12 million PS5s, it could sell 6, 7 million on PS5, maybe the same on PS4, get to that 10, 15 million mark. There's no guarantee it's going to do 30 million on PS4 and then 5 on PS5. And in fact, I don't think that's going to happen. So the thing is, it may even be split, or more people may actually get it on PS5 than PS4. All the people saying, oh, it needs to be on PS4, it may outsell on the PS5. So that's a thing you have to keep in mind. And then again, maybe the game doesn't even run well. So it's not, does the game get held back on PS4? It's that it may not even run well on the PS4, and it runs better. It's made for, so it could be the opposite. You know how I always say, the PS4 or last gen is going to hurt, the games because they have to run on that, and then they jump it up for PS5. It could very well end up being like Cyberpunk again, the opposite, where no, the PS5 actually helps it out. It actually makes it run better. It's the PS4 version that has the issues. So that could very well happen, and honestly, that would be its own discussion. I'd make a video on that, right? That'd be its own discussion. That'd be its own controversy or very bad thing that could happen. So it's definitely interesting. I guess you could say I'm reaching. You could say that. I don't think I wouldn't necessarily disagree with you in that I do think the game, as I said back a year ago, I don't think the game is going to be as big of a jump as people want it to be. I'm okay with the jump we've had. Again, I can't say enough, or I can't re-say enough the positives I've already talked about, that 14-minute gameplay. But, again, there was a sense for me, and I saw it all over the place, it's more Horizon. And I don't think that's bad, because Horizon's not like a terrible game. Obviously, it's a really amazing game. It's not a bad game. But, at the same time, I just don't think this is a jump. I think we could have had, and it's hard to prove that because you can't prove it. You know what I mean? It's just my opinion, and obviously people online have an issue with that. But I just can't help but feel we would have had an even better. See, not just the word, we wouldn't have had a better product, because that makes it sound like this one sucks. We would have had an even bigger jump in visuals. We'd have a bigger jump in, they changed this and this and this. I think we would have a bigger jump of that if it was only on PS5. And again, the only way of proving that, in my opinion, is looking at Ratchet and Clank and when that game is out, and then when Horizon's out, and seeing, okay, why isn't Horizon doing this? And you could say again, well, it's because Ratchet and Clank is shorter, it's smaller, it's made from a different studio, all these other reasons, but also it's on PS5 only, and Horizon's not. So maybe that part has to do with it. And then again, looking a year later when God of War or Spider-Man or the next big PS5 exclusive that's only on PS5, looking at that one and saying, okay, why is this one better in these aspects than her? You can't compare the story, that kind of stuff. That's not limited by the specs of the console. You know what I mean? So it's definitely, I'm walking on broken glass. Okay, you got to make that clear. But that's what I think. I truly do think. So to answer people's questions, I adore what we saw. I cannot wait to go underwater for 99% of the game, okay? All that stuff is very much true. But I do also think that it is still being, I will say that, I still think it's being held back, because I think it's a jump, but I don't think it's as big of a jump as we could have had. And that's, again, just my opinion. So I don't know how I could have said that any more nice, any more in the middle than what I did. I know some people actually get mad at me for not really sticking with my guns and just saying, screw the haters, screw people that disagree with me, I'm going with my, opinion. There are people that get mad at me for doing that. You can never make everybody happy, and I've definitely learned that. But let me know, guys, in the comments below, what do you think? If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, totally cool. Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon, leave a like. If you leave a dislike, guess that's fine too. It'll help the video out evenly, honestly. So thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you all on the next video.